Hello and welcome to the Ronald Lavallee Memorial Kiwanis Park Public Engagement Session. My name is Autumn Hume. I'm from the city's Public Engagement and Communications team, and I will be emceeing this evening's event. Uh, so the session is live streamed. You can follow along on YouTube, and for privacy's sake, microphones and video are turned off. The event tonight, it will feature a quick introduction from Shonda Sames, who's the City of Kingston's Parks and Open Spaces Coordinator, followed by a presentation on the detailed design by Kevin Holmes from the MBTW Group. Then a question answer opportunity will follow. So with that being said, I'll give it away to Shonda. Thanks.
Thanks, Autumn. If you're attending it tonight, it's about as Autumn has mentioned, it's about the improvements at Ron Lavallee Memorial Kiwanis Park. It's a follow-up meeting to the March meeting where we've heard some general ideas of what people have said about improvements in the park and that they were interested in, and some high-level interest in the playground components. If you haven't had a chance to provide your input to date, there will be plenty of more opportunities. I'm Shonda Sames, Parks and Open Space Coordinator with Parks and Shoreline in Engineering Services. Here tonight we have Kevin Holmes, MBTW landscape architect who we've hired to design the park, and Neil Unsworth, manager of Parks and Shoreline. Before we start, I just wanted to thank everyone who has participated to date. It has been very helpful to kind of improve the concepts that we've done prior. Also, I'll pass this on to Kevin to kind of go an overview of what we've heard.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Shanda, and I'm happy to continue. Obviously, our office is happy to continue our involvement with the redevelopment of this very important civic square or space in the city of Kingston. Tonight, we're going to go through a number of things. One is just an update on the project schedule, a review of comments from the first public open house, a review of the revised park concept plan, and a review of some playground options that have been developed, and then we'll end with some questions. So the work completed to date, which is listed under phase one, is preparing the topographic base plan for the site, site walks to inventory what's existing within the park and opportunities for some redevelopment. Then we prepared opportunities and constraints plan and 2 alternative park concept plans that were presented to the public back in March of this year. Phase 2, which we're currently in, includes, first of all, a review of the feedback that we received from the public open house, the online survey, and what we've done is we've developed, based on the feedback we received, we've selected a preferred concept and have developed that further. Over the last number of weeks, we've also worked with playground suppliers and have some options that we're going to be presenting to you this evening. There's also an online survey which will remain open until October 10th, where you have an opportunity to provide us with feedback on both the concept plan and maybe the playground option. That's the preference. Once that's done, then we'll proceed to prepare the detailed park construction drawings. We'll work with the city on a tendering process, which we anticipate will happen probably early 2025, and then we anticipate that construction of the park will begin in 2025 and should be completed certainly by the end of the construction season next year. Next slide, please. Just to familiarize ourselves with the park, The existing park contains a splash pad, an aging playground, tennis court, a junior baseball and junior softball diamond, and an unused park building that is literally used for storage that's located along the frontage of the park. Most of the park amenities are clustered at the front, with the baseball facilities to the north. I want to just reiterate the project scope. So this was provided to us by the city at the onset of the project. And obviously there's some things that have probably been added to the scope. But the first is to replace the aging play equipment. There's also opportunities to improve pedestrian connectivity and accessibility within the park, and also consider walkway connections to future lands. The replacement or the demolition of the unused park building, but the replacement in terms of the removals of the building, there will be a new plaza added, a new gathering space added that'll include a shade structure and some site furnishings. There will be some minor sports field and tennis court enhancements to address drainage, to address maintenance, just to sort of modernize a few things. And then we're going to be enhancing the landscaping of the park by adding some additional trees where we see opportunities for that. And of note is the approximate project budget is $500,000 for construction, with a grant of $100,000 being provided through the Polson Estate Fund. Now, these are the two park concepts that were presented to the public for feedback, and both concepts include the same amenities. It's just the location of the amenities to each other that changes. Obviously, the ball fields and the tennis courts and the splash pad, they're fixed. So it's the gathering space and the playground, and the walkway connections that's differing between the two concepts. So in terms of the public feedback, the park layout option 2, which is located at the top right corner of this slide, was the preferred option, and over 70% of the respondents agreed. The existing location of the splash pad and the play equipment, the swing sets that are located further east and the aging play structure, the separation of the two created a challenge for parents to safely supervise their children. That was one of the comments we received. Some of the top activities within the park include the free play space, obviously the playground, the splash pad, walking, enjoying nature, and biking. And this aligns with the top valued amenities in the park being the playground, trees, splash pad, seating area, and lawn area. We solicited some feedback on what play equipment, is the most popular. And the swings, the curve slide, and the monkey bar are always, typically are always the most popular, and certainly in this situation they were. But there was an interest in net climbers and different and more risky play, and that's particularly for older children. Other feedback included for access to the park, most people use the existing south central staircase, but there was interest in access from the north end of the park through the schoolyard for easier access to the north ball diamond. There were some feedback noting challenges related to parking access near the park and being able to access the park via a stroller or a wagon, except for the east side. There's also an interest in shade and more seating, shaded seating near with trees to provide shade during supervision of children. And there was a lot of interest in a water bottle filling station within the park. So once we received all the feedback, and through meetings and discussions with the city, this is the revised park concept plan that we're going to present tonight. The most important thing is probably the theme that's been established. The existing hexagon-shaped splash pad really provided us with inspiration for the plaza area and the playground. And you can see from this, the very south end of the park, you've got those hexagon-shaped areas. We've provided a park entry off of the sidewalk on the west side of the park, as well as maintaining the park entry on the east side. There's also better accessible walkways through the park that link to the tennis court, and certainly, bring people from the street to that central gathering space. There is an open lawn area proposed to the east of the proposed playground. There's shade trees, additional shade trees that we've provided, throughout the park, but there's certainly like a bosque of trees that are, north of the active play, the playground area, and the ball field. And that's just to create a little bit more sort of spatial separation. There's going to be some new site furnishings throughout the park. With that shade structure that's in the plaza area, there's also going to be picnic tables, benches, bike racks, and drinking fountain. And obviously, with the goal to create, a real community gathering space and a great place to sit and watch their children while they're having fun, either in the splash pad or in the playground itself. Improvements to the tennis court will include resurfacing the courts and some improvements to the fencing that's located the north and south end of the tennis courts. Improvements to the ball fields will be primarily improvements to the backstops. The posts are fine, but we've discovered that the mesh needs to be replaced. There's also consideration for a future grass pathway east of the ball field that would link the main gathering area to the north field, to the north baseball field, and that would be located to the east of the along the east park boundary. I'd like to talk a little bit about playground options. As mentioned, we went out to we requested some playground designs from some of the city's preferred vendors for playground equipment, and we're providing tonight two options for the playground, as well as what we're calling alternative play features, which could be swapped in. So this is playground option one, and it includes a combined junior and senior play structure. It has lower right corner would be a double bay swing set. There's a net climber on the left side of your screen. And then there's some smaller units, a spinning bucket, a spring toy, and a turning bar. If you look on the next slide, you'll see that there's this junior senior play structure has slides at different levels. It has a fireman pole, a climber, a counter, and stairs. So this next slide just shows in the top right corner a double bay swing set that includes a baby seat, a strap, and a bucket seat. To the left you'll find a net climber, which are very popular with a lot of our new playground projects. And then down the bottom right, there's just a blow up of the spinning bucket, the spring rider, and the turning bar. Now, playground option 2 varies. Obviously, we've got it includes separate play structures. So we have a senior play structure at the top left and a junior play structure. It has a double bay swing set, a spinning disc, and a music panel area. And if you turn to the next slide, the separate senior structure has a parallel slide, has climbers, some ground level activity, monkey bars, pull-up bars, and stairs. The next slide will be, this is a blow up of the junior play structure, which has a slide, a music panel, pull-up rails, activity panels, a counter, and stairs. Now, as mentioned, playground option 2 also includes a swing set, which includes 2 straps, 1 accessible seat, and 1 baby bucket. You'll see in the middle, we've got visuals of the spinning disc. And then on the right side, we've got visuals for the music panel. So we do have the ability to switch out some of the equipment in both of those first 2 options with some other equipment that may be of more interest to some people. And some of that equipment, on this slide shows what's called a rotating climber. There's a smaller climber that's located in the middle, and then there's a crawling pyramid climber, which is more sort of a natural type of play apparatus. On the next slide, you'll see top left is the traditional seesaw. To the bottom left, you've got the balancing steps. In the middle, you've got sensory panels, and those are all ground related. And to the right, then you've got your stand-up spinners. So obviously, we'd really like feedback from the public on some of these play features so that we can advance the designs for the playgrounds specifically. In order to be able to provide input, you can scan the QR code here shown on this screen, and that will take you to the online survey where you can provide your feedback. So that's our presentation for this evening. We certainly welcome your questions, and we thank you for your participation in the Ron Lavallee Memorial Kiwanis Park redevelopment. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm not seeing any questions at this time. So I'd like to bring this presentation to a close. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Shonda, do you have any final words?
No, just thanking everybody for their interest and participation in the process so far. And if there's anything that they want to let us know, it's the best time to kind of let us know now as we're going through the process. So looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback. Thank you.